something I used to go through a couple years ago was like post performance downs a little bit because I went from working every single night, almost every show. So like we always had another show. So like I had to get juiced up for this next show. But then once everything changed, pandemic, all of that, and then the contract started getting restructured and the dates became less, and I would do a big date and then I would be home for, you know, like a month with no like crazy stimulus, no dopamine, no adrenaline rush, no pop.
Right.
And it would put me in the dumps a little bit. And so I learned how to like structure my way through that. Like, well, no, we didn't finish. We're just working towards the next date now. So we're just right back in now. So I built like things to fix that. But yeah, we're always going through stuff all the time.
That's an intentional mindset.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I'm never trying to stay like I understand happiness is not a constant state. We experience moments of happiness. But whatever that is, that middle ground or where you're not feeling much at all, that's kind of where we're at all the time. And you have to figure out how to spike that happiness or know when it's happening, and then also know when you're not in that mode and you need to, you know, get yourself out of whatever it is. I think just being truthful with yourself and being completely honest of where you're at mentally helps where you don't bullshit yourself.
Right.
Because we'll do that to ourselves greater than anybody. I'll buy my shit better than anybody.
Oh, yeah. We can convince ourselves of anything.
I sold myself water earlier, you know what I mean? Yeah. But yeah, it's just one of those things. I think that was different, though, because it was
very real.
So heavy, yes. And like, I guess anytime mortality kind of gets put on the line and you have to think about that, that sends you down a different type of head trip. But I think I was just so young, and thank God for my mom. I can't give her enough credit. The fact that I had her shoulders to like put this burden on and have her like carry the brunt of the stress.
God bless her.
God bless her.
Yeah.
Over and over and over again, because to this day she's probably worried about me right now.
I mean,
like, what's he doing?
I've got goosebumps right now because I can't imagine. You know,
I don't ever want to imagine how my mom felt, and I don't want to ever go through any of that with my own. But thank God I had her. Thank God I had all of my family, all of them, because like Calvin said, it was my mom, it was my sisters, it was God just gluing it all together to make sure that this safety net that was surrounding me there was no holes in it. They weren't gonna let me slip through. So that was. It was a hell of a time. It really was.
Do you think that going through that is probably one of the main reasons why you are the successful family man, huge, giant megastar, and family man that you are today, that you know what matters. You know what matters most to you. And how important is knowing what matters most?
I think for anybody, I wouldn't say just for a young man, anybody in leadership, you need to know what the goal is, where you're trying to go, because you have people in tow, you know, and as a father, as a husband, that was something that wasn't learned fast enough or early enough, but it was learned. But I can't just credit it to one thing. All these things happen for a reason. And I'm the type that I do regret stuff. I do regret decisions, behaviors, you know, many things that I've done through my life.
We're all human.
Absolutely.
Right. We all make
that's why I don't judge,
and,
because I get it. Like, I understand it. But I'm one of those type that beat themselves up about stuff, you know, and I always remember, you know, I'll forgive, but I will remember, and I'm talking about towards myself, you know, I'm actually very easy to forgive others, but for myself, I hold on to things, and I will torture myself a little bit.
Yeah, too much, maybe.
A little bit, a little bit. But I think that's good, and it keeps you honest. Yeah, well, I think the reminder.
As long as it doesn't rip you down.
Exactly, yeah.
Once you start, if it becomes a cycle, then that's not helpful.
If you can't
learn,
then
you're
just losing.
Yeah.
If there's no lesson there, then you're just losing, and you're just staying in that state. And I don't like that. But if I can learn from the mistake, I don't like saying, "Oh, I had to make that
Maybe
mistake."
you'll make enough mistakes that it'll be like reps and you can just learn the lesson and not have to dwell on it so much that it hurts you.
Well, and then I also, what irritates me is you could have learned that from the guy in front of you. You know what I mean? Like
Sometimes
it's
you
an old
can't.
football thing.
Yeah.
Like when I'm on the cans and we're doing our walkthroughs, that's how I learned how to play football was watch the guy in front of you.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been blessed with that opportunity to watch many great men in front of me. And then I still touch the hot stove. You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
it's just
but
one
you're
of those
gonna.
things.
I
know.
mean,
I know. Just give me a little bit of what
there
goes
were
on.
probably
The
a lot of
internal struggle
examples
here,
that
you know?
maybe weren't the best also. So,
Sure.
you know, there's many paths.
That's the other
many
side too. Is like
paths,
knowing that that's a great example of knowledge and
learning what
intellect.
not to do.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like seeing mistakes and identifying those as others' mistakes and not repeating that. So it is what it is. But it's all a part of that process. Like you said, it's all a learning process. And as long as you are learning from it, you can get knowledge from anywhere.
That's right.
You can become better in any capacity, as long as you're just willing to review God's tape a little bit. You know, watch it back and think about it. And I wouldn't want someone to treat me like that.
Right.
Maybe I shouldn't do stuff like that. You know, simple stuff. It
You
could be
learn.
anything.
Yeah. Kindness matters.
100%.
Yeah.
Steph and I were talking about this earlier. You probably do not remember, but when I started with WWE, I was working in talent relations. It was when you and Triple H were main eventing
Okay.
WrestleMania 32. So at the time,
The aforementioned.
yes,
Yes.
we're going back there. So at the time, I was told that you were a big deal, and I'm new in talent relations, and they're like, you need to make sure this guy has a suite. Like, you need to talk to him to take care of everything. So I'm like, okay, he's a big deal. Like, I'm preparing to talk to some asshole, honestly.
Oh, no.
So,
And-
some very
AKA, yeah.
demanding person. Yes.
And
Yes.
What were these
point
things
is-
I demanded? I don't remember. Yeah, I don't think I was demanding
that's just
anything
the way
back
it
in
was
the
set up, yeah.
Sorry, my point was you were not that at all. And just talking about being kind and true to who you were.
What year was this? I think I know who was talking to me.
Yes, you do. Yes,
I
you do.
Yep.
But so like just the simple, I was set up poorly, but you were so kind, and I'm like, okay,
Thank you.
this guy's a huge deal, and he's just talking about feeding his family and making sure they're all set up with tickets, and I remember that because I'm expecting someone who's
A monster to
Yeah.
come by, yeah. I'm
it
glad
just-
I wasn't that. but
no,
thank
not
you.
at all, and it just, he's like,
Could have been a
shit,
totally
what
different
you
story.
were a straight asshole.
fun time to
So
bring
glad
it
you've
up.
learned.
Yeah.
That was
You didn't
not
have
one
to deal
of
with
your
me last
mistakes.
Mania, huh?
No, 10 years ago, though.
Vegas is different than Dallas now, yeah. A lot of Samoans in Vegas now.
I've since
That
left.
sweet needs to grow.
You don't want to be in that department either.
Nope.
Trying to relate to talent is one of the hardest things to do. It really is. That's not an easy job. But probably who's giving you directions wasn't very good at it.
Yeah,
anyways.
maybe not best. That's
Nothing,
okay though.
But
But I'm glad I wasn't an asshole.
No,
Yeah, that would've
no,
been
and that's why I
embarrassing.
was like, all right, this,
I wouldn't have let her
good
tell
guy.
that
Just
story.
put on do another little Georgia Tech interview. Well, you lost all those great qualities from Tech. Yeah,
this guy told me no.
yeah.
But yeah, I just
Those football guys are liars because he's an asshole. Yeah.
play the third tape.